everyone. My name is Lakeisha Latimer, and today's date is March 3rd, 2016. And today I'll be informing you all on what cultural appropriation is. I'll be giving you how popular platforms like the music industry and the fashion industry influence cultural appropriation and cultural appropriation in the beauty world. Okay, so let's take a moment and think about a time. Let's say your family has an artifact, like an important artifact that means a lot to you. Let's say this artifact is a handmade bracelet and it's passed from generation to generation in your family. And someone steals this bracelet. They're getting so many compliments on this bracelet. Excuse me. And you tell the police and they don't do anything about it because they say, well, your name isn't on it. We can't do anything for you. All right? And so they're getting all these compliments and they're like, oh, it looks better on them than it did on you or whatever. And so this kind of describes cultural appropriation because it has no sentimental value to them, but it does to you, and they're stealing it and just wearing it for show. All right, so first I'll be informing you on what cultural appropriation is and giving you a little background knowledge about it. But before I jump right in to define cultural appropriation, I'm going to highlight 3 myths about cultural appropriation that has been discussed by Francesca Ramsey on MTV's Debunked. You're just looking for someone to be offended. It's just clothing, hairstyles, decorations, whatever. You have something better to worry about. Well, that's a myth. It is possible to worry about more than one thing, and it actually is offensive and harmful. I'm doing it because I think it's beautiful and exotic. I'm just showing appreciation for the culture. Well, that's a myth. You can actually take time and learn the history of this culture, and then you'll actually understand the true beauty behind it and show real respect instead of just admiring how it looks on you. Alright, and if Chinese people wear blue jeans, aren't they appropriating my culture? What about black girls wearing blonde weaves? How about speaking English? Well, assimilation and appropriation aren't the same thing. Marginalized people conforming to standards set by dominant, or in this case, Western cultures, is often a means of survival. When your cultural heritage is looked down on, often people change or hide things about themselves in order to be accepted by the majority of culture. And blonde hair isn't just for white people. These people are forced to fit into what we all claim a society that is based off European values. But this myth is much like reverse racism. There is no such thing as white cultural appropriation, not because there is no such thing as white culture itself, but because white culture is so dominant in society that to partake in it is not appropriation, but assimilation. So, what is cultural appropriation? Well, I took 2 very great definitions of cultural appropriation defined by Francesca Ramsey and Nadra Mill, and created this one. Cultural appropriation is members of a dominant or privileged group of people borrowing from cultures of minority, marginalized cultures without their input and disrespecting and misinterpreting these cultures. So, what's wrong with cultural appropriation? Well, typically those doing the borrowing lack a contextual understanding of what makes the cultural symbols, art forms, and modes of expression. They also receive praise and profit from cultural exploitation when members of the culture where it originated get shamed and forced to assimilate European values, as I briefly mentioned earlier. It allows love for a culture but not love for its people, which is wrong. Okay, so now you should have a mild understanding of what cultural appropriation is. I'm going to discuss some examples of how popular platforms such as the fashion and music industry influence cultural appropriation. So, I have this right here. It's just pictures. Okay, so recently, Christian Louboutin revealed their new Nefertiti-inspired lipstick collection. On Instagram, Louboutin posted a picture of legendary Queen Nefertiti and captioned it, "The beautiful one has arrived." Queen Nefertiti of Egypt is the most timeless symbol of beauty and power to Christian Louboutin, who is your beauty icon, they said. Well, this is cultural appropriation because Louboutin misrepresented a famous Egyptian queen by whitewashing her and using white model to fit as their personal white aesthetic, which you can see here. And then Louis Vuitton used the Ghana Must Go bags as their own when they were really, the Ghanaians were forced out of their homes. They had to carry these bags, and Louis Vuitton did not pay any homage to them. Elle posted this picture of Janae Eco and the dashiki saying it's a new it item, but they were unaware that the dashiki has been around for generations and it has a history itself. Okay. For cultural appropriation in the music industry, Katy Perry did a video. It was a geisha themed performance with Japanese women dancing in the background. Not only was it super stereotypical, but her outfit wasn't even from the right country. The Japanese culture, well, the spokespeople from the Japanese American Culture League, they said the thoughtless costuming and dance routines by Katy Perry played carelessly with stereotypes in an attempt to create a Japanese aesthetic. Iggy Azalea and Riff Raff, they're known for appropriating the rap industry, where they don't even really care about African Americans. Like they don't donate and they don't show, they don't actually help on the real issues. So yeah.